So folks, I'm doing something a little different here. There is this wicked traffic build-up where the trucks are backed up forever. And I found the service lane where some road construction is happening, and I've helped myself to the service lane. Now normally you would never do this. This in our local South African parlance could be called kaksuk. But a kinder way of putting it is looking for trouble. And why would that be? I'm looking for trouble based on the fact that I'm riding here in all this debris and broken glass. The truck drivers are obviously throwing stuff out of their windows. You can see the litter and how the gravel has been swept into this lane. And this is just exactly the place where you're going to get a puncture. All this dirt and debris and the broken glass. I really am looking for trouble, and yet I'm doing it with absolute confidence. I know that if I pick something up, a nail or some glass or whatever giving me a puncture, a piece of wire, it's going to get closed on the fly. How cool is that? And guess why? Because I've got Armour Tyre Sealant in my tires. So if I can get the opportunity to cheat a little, that's precisely what I'm doing. And like I said, with confidence. More about Armour Tyre Sealant later. In some proper thorn-filled country. This is real thorny stuff. Just have a look at this. This bush is rough and tough with a load of thorns everywhere, all over the place. But I'm in here with absolute confidence. Why? Because of Armour Tyre Sealant. Let me tell you more about it. So, how do we deal with that? Well, inside here is Armour Tyre Sealant, and I'm not supposed to admit this, but I take this bike quite often, up to 150, 160 k's an hour, no impact, no issue whatsoever with balance, and yet I'm yet to have a puncture since putting Armour Tyre Sealant in. And having been an adventure bike tour guide for over 10 years, I can tell you unequivocally the bane of any adventure biking, if there is one, because it's a tremendous sport, is punctures. It ruins the entire complexion of the ride when you get a puncture. The thorns are just all over the place, and every other ride lands up ruined with everybody's mood changing. It's a difficult situation, and of course motorcycles don't carry a spare. On the motorway it could be even worse owing to safety issues, but out here I'm now cruising the Thornfelt with a smile on my face. Bring it on. I don't get punctures anymore. It's brilliant. You're actually not going to want to believe this. So I stopped here amongst the thorn trees to make that little video, the previous video that I just made. And here in the tire is the back end of a big acacia thorn. I've tried scratching it out with the bike keys. It's in there, it's solid. I reckon it's one of these chaps. It's one of these nice big hectic thorns. Nevertheless, this sounds crazy, but I'm actually delighted that there's a thorn in there, because this is now going to be the proof of the benefits of Armour Tyre Sealant. I've got a tire pressure monitoring system here, and I hope you can see this. It's saying 2 bars of pressure on the front tire. And here comes this absolute test. Home is around about 50 to 60 kilometers. I'm going to ride home with this. I'm not going to attempt to extract it or anything. I'm going to just ride with it. An absolute test, because most of the time you'd not know that you'd been punctured, and the puncture gets healed on the fly. So I'm heading home, and we're going to check that 2 bars when I get home, and then we're going to pull the thorn out. See you later. Okay, folks, so I'm back home, and I have found the culprit. Here's the thorn, and it's in there. I've unfortunately broken it a little bit by trying to use the plier to get it out. But let me put the camera down, and I'm going to get this fella out of there. Back with you in a second. I'm trying to use a spike to get some leverage on it because it's embedded in here. I've got to get a tripod for this camera instead of leaning it there. But how's that? My goodness, it's not terribly big and it's not the white acacia thorn, but I have no doubt that it had penetrated into the inside. It's long enough, as you can see, it's long enough that it got all the way through. And yet, now here comes the test, is that pressure, the tire pressure management system. Let's have a look at that. Well, I don't know if that is legible on the video, but we have lost no pressure whatsoever. And I rode a little more than 40 kilometers to get home from that incident, and I'm going to put it 100% down to this. Armour Tyre Sealant seals punctures permanently on the fly. It is absolutely amazing. And there's even a pic of a dirt bike here, a mountain bike, of course, 4x4, and it's a universal product. Apparently it's as good on tubeless as it is on tube tires. Mine is a tube tire, if that's of any interest. But for the skeptics out there and the naysayers, I'm saying to you, this is the stuff. Stop messing around, just get it. It works. Cheers.